Hello, my name is Kieran O'Donoghue, and I am the Educational Outreach Manager for the Agritech Cluster. The Agritech Cluster is an Enterprise Ireland funded initiative based at the Munster Technological University, MTU, Kerry campus, with the goal of bringing agri-tech companies in Ireland together to work on common projects that will support the growth of their businesses. In this presentation, I'm going to talk to you about the farming landscape and how the technology is having an ever increasing role in meeting farmers' needs now and into the future. I'm delighted to partner with MOOCALL to deliver this webinar for you. Here on the left side, you'll see a breakdown of the topics that we will explore, starting with the marriage of agriculture and technology, and I suppose to see how this marriage is set to develop in the future. There are many examples of technology adoption during the pandemic, like when we were faced with the question, how do we sell our livestock? Marts adapted their business models and online sales took center stage, supported by many technologies working together, the likes of software applications, cameras, and of course, having the necessary broadband infrastructure to support that. This is an example of how resilient farming practice is and how well new technologies and new solutions are adopted once the solution is easy to use and provides value. The online mart technology solution is now here to stay and offers farmers more opportunities. One can be in multiple marts at the same time. The third topic we're going to look at here is the topic of clustering. I like to think of clustering as working together towards a common goal. Working in teams, we can reach goals earlier and more comprehensively than working individually. Clustering can benefit the agri-tech sector by creating opportunities for collaboration with a focus on industry growth and on international sales of our products and services. It's known that sectors and regions who've adopted clustering approach have exceeded their growth expectations. To look a little bit at the agri-tech need, I want to show you this balancing act here. See the scale, and in this scale on the left-hand side here, just going to show you, I suppose, the fact that we have a need and an ever-increasing need for more food. And to explore the need for technology in farming in a little bit more detail, I'd like to show you this balancing act that's in play. On the left-hand side, you can see, I suppose, that the need to feed the hungry is there. We know that global population growth is happening, and it's estimated that the population is expected to rise by over a third by 2050, up to 9 billion people. This will result in a 70% increase in food production to meet the needs of the growing population. This should be good for farming, right? More demand for our products. Up until now, if we need to produce more on farms, we intensify. So we start to do more, we start to produce more by doing things like using more fertilizers, using more rotations, and so on. So that's, I guess, moving our scale down on the left-hand side here. If we want to try and balance that up, how do we do that? Let's take a look on the right side. And I suppose we know as well, more and more, we have the need to be more sustainable. And I suppose in doing that, it's driven by the need to support our environment. We know that the climate is changing. We've seen examples of this all around us, from wildfires to storms and flooding increasing in intensity and I suppose also in frequency. We know too that carbon and methane emissions are contributing to this effect, and that farming practice has its part to play in that. To tackle this sustainability situation, a number of policy objectives have been set, a number of goals. So if we look at the UN, they've set the Sustainable Development Goals. And within that, there's a wide range of aggressive targets and actions required. We see as well the EU Green Deal, where the EU is targeting to be the first climate neutral continent in the world by 2050. We also have the new Common Agricultural Policy and the Farm to Fork strategy. From a farmer perspective, I guess it's hard to think green if you're in the red, but the damage to the environment is also tipping our scale over on the left-hand side. So we have a big challenge. The approach needs to change. We need to do more with less. Technology solutions can help to balance the scale here by providing farmers with the tools to farm in a more efficient way and to support sustainability goals through innovative solutions to reduce the carbon footprint. Let's take a look at some headlines that are, I suppose, supporting the need for technology in agriculture. Agriculture is Ireland's oldest and largest indigenous industry. In 2020, the Irish agri-food sector accounted for about 10% of exports in value terms. So it's a serious high contribution. At a primary production level, we have about 150,000 farms. The agri-food sector grew substantially over the last 10 years, with exports increasing from around 60%, from about 9 billion in 2010 to over 14 billion in 2020. So big numbers, right? The sector produces food and ingredients with a global reputation. This is what's very important for Ireland, and why it positions us in a really good place going forward. We have a quality and safety reputation. We have a livestock sector built on an enviable grass production system. And as we've seen, there's an increasing demand for our products. Some of the statistics we see here, like 50% up use now of herd and breeding software. We see, that the agri-tech sector globally is expected to be over 13 billion by 2030. So it looks very attractive, right? We also see that the dairy herd in Ireland has increased by 30%. So we're intensifying more and more. We need to increase our exports as well. And it's expected in a recent report that we're going to increase our agri-food exports by about 85% by 2030. And I suppose a couple of other statistics to be aware of that have an impact on the farming processes, I guess, is that it's expected that about 30% of food is lost between the farm and the fork. Okay, so that's between primary producing and end use or consumption of our food. We also see that in farming at the moment, there's a significant labor shortage. So as more and more people are moving towards higher skills and higher paid jobs, there's a labor shortage in farming. We also see, I suppose, some of the challenges coming about, the new climate action bill, for example, where there's going to be new carbon budgets. We see lately in the Netherlands where there's new phosphate quotas implemented. So all of these, I suppose, are moving us towards a need for change and enabling, I suppose, Agritech to take its part and to be a support in this change. So I guess just to summarize a little bit on the need for Agritech, we see these trends here on the right-hand side. So I guess overall farm incomes, some incomes are up in the bigger scale farms, but the average farm income is still quite low. If we look in terms of environmental impact, like water quality, biodiversity, the trends right now are going in the wrong direction. But on the other side, if we look at the food demand and the emissions, we're seeing those increasing. Okay. So what I want to do, I suppose, just to show and to maybe outline a little bit the opportunity for technology in farming. I'm just going to give you a short overview here on the, I suppose, the value stream from farming to the consumer. And I suppose to see as well where technology is involved and what is the actual opportunity for technology in farming. So if we look at this value stream, okay, we've got farming practice along here on the left-hand side. And from that, we see the outputs here on the top part. So, okay, we produce milk, we produce livestock, cereals, okay, and that can feed into the processors and the retail organizations who then sell finished goods to the consumer, okay. And I suppose, as we know, number of consumers in the world is increasing, and also we have scenarios where we sell direct from farming to the consumer, just to give the wider view here. So one of the things we're seeing more and more is that, I guess, along this value stream, there's more complexity coming into play. And this complexity, I suppose, is coming where we have changes in the inputs. So on the bottom part here, we see our inputs. So if we look, for example, at the food processing and retail, we see that there's a wide range of different sources of supply to enable those processes. And for quite a while now, those processes have been supported by technology. And then I guess if we look further upstream to the farmers, and we look at the suppliers that we have in farming, and we're all familiar with these suppliers. And I suppose more and more, we need to see how we can link up our value stream and how our value stream can communicate. So we want to get feedback all the way back to the value stream. How do we do it? And we've seen technology already in use to enable this. So terms like traceability would be one of the main ones. And all of these types of technology make use of data, and data flows, in both directions along this value stream here. So more and more, we're already see that technology is in use in farming, but it's evolving. The complexity is increasing. The interconnections are increasing between systems and between suppliers and between the various processes involved here. We're also seeing the agri-tech sector getting a much higher level in recent times, levels of investments. So there's a view that there is enablers coming through in technology that will help improve farming practice for the future. So how do we square the circle? Where's the opportunity? So if we look at the challenge here, how do we make farming in Ireland more resilient? How do we, get across to this sustainable farming idea here on the right side? And I believe that technology can accelerate this journey towards sustainable farming. Recently, the Department of Agriculture, Food and the Marine published their Food Vision 2030 strategy. This strategy has a focus to position Ireland as a world leader in sustainable food systems. One of its 4 missions is to have an innovative, competitive, and resilient agri-food sector, driven by technology and talent. So what we look at here, and I guess there's various pathways to sustainable farming, but what I see from this policy is that skills are really important, higher, I suppose, complexity in what's going to be done in the future in farming. Lots of innovation is needed, and to get technology solutions that are fit for purpose will require lots of organizations and groups working together. And from that, I suppose, this could lead to this goal of sustainable farming in terms of environmental impact, social needs, and also economic needs. It's important. This is important, I guess, overall, to ensure that we preserve our excellent farming practice in Ireland for future generations. So what kind of technologies am I talking about? And what kind of innovations can shape the future of farming? So I'd just like to show you on this slide, that technology types that are used across the entire value stream. Right now, it's said that we're in the 4th agricultural revolution. The use of technology in order to promote sustainable farming, everything from biotechnology to big data. And we see that technology is ready to transition the agricultural sector and transform the way things are done in order to improve efficiency and productivity levels. Linking technology solutions, I suppose, is really important, so that the end product is a simple solution and that adds value to the farmer's daily work. We don't want a situation where a farmer has 5 different apps on their phone and might lead to confusion or incorrect decision making. More and more, people need to be more precise in what's being done. So this is the whole topic here around precision farming. It's important to reduce costs while maximizing yield and output. We've seen that the main challenge facing the agricultural industry is the need to increase these yields and these outputs, but while protecting the environment. So the ability to feed the growing population with the limited resources is becoming more and more center stage. The Agritech solutions will help the industry overcome these challenges and enhance the traditional agricultural practices that we're very familiar with. Though technology has been applied for a long time, innovative agri-tech is seen as the future of farming. Basic solutions such as automatic machinery are already making a difference for farmers' lives every day, improving profitability while saving time and resource. These solutions are less price sensitive and should in future be more and more attractive for smaller farmers. I guess if we take a look here on the right-hand side, I've just given a snapshot of some of the key enabling technologies. These technologies are becoming more readily and economically viable for farming. Nowadays, we see robots feeding cattle and milking cows. We see sensors taking readings from the soil and measuring rainfall amounts to provide an input to a software application that can assist decision making around various topics like seeding or pesticide application. Take a look at MOOCALL. As they say themselves, they offer intuitive, easy to use products that connect farmers to animals like never before. These technologies can provide accurate, real-time information to a farmer's fingertips to enable good decisions and ultimately lead to a better herd management with less effort. So I want to talk to you a little bit now about the Agritech Cluster idea. So I guess what we want to do with the cluster is to work with Irish companies who are providing agri-tech solutions for farmers. And I guess our vision is that we see Irish agri-tech companies and the provision of Irish agri-tech products and services as being a world leader in terms of global sales and global recognition. The goal is that we pull together and we build a cluster of companies who work together on common projects and common goals. The idea, I suppose, is around focusing attention on skills and talent development, looking at innovation, looking at how products and processes are working, how can they be optimized and changed, how can they line up with the needs of farmers in the future. Looking at new markets, how do we enter new markets? And I suppose also looking at what kind of growth is possible in these markets. Ultimately, looking at what kind of new products are needed in the future to help grow the businesses. So what do we do differently in the cluster? So I guess what we're looking to do is we're looking to connect industry with knowledge institutions. We're looking to connect up also with government supports. And the idea is that it's an industry-led cluster. And I'm working at the moment to encourage engagement from companies. The idea is that through the cluster that we set out a set of common goals. These goals can then form actions or projects that we'll work on together across industry, but also linking in with knowledge organizations and government to find these overlap scenarios where it makes sense to work together on particular projects to grow the businesses. This is the goal here. So right now, from the Agritech Cluster point of view, we're in the early stages. So we're up and running about 6 months, and we've been working on a number of workshops with industry players, trying to define, I guess, what we want to focus on. You know, what areas of skills development, what areas of product development, and trying to define, I guess, our work plan. So in the next few months, we're going to agree that work plan. And the idea, over the next few years, is we deliver that work plan together with the companies involved in order to grow their impact in Ireland and abroad. So I'd like to give you, because I'm based in MTU and in the Kerry campus, I'd just like to give you a short overview, I guess, about Munster Technological University, and I guess some of the agri-tech related activities that are in play at the moment. So MTU is recently established, so beginning of last year, it's established as a new technological university where the Cork Institute of Technology and the Institute of Technology Tralee have been merged to form MTU. And I guess just to give you a flavor of what's happening from an agri-tech perspective, and the agri-tech, I suppose, programs and courses and so on fit within the STEM, science, technology, engineering, and maths department within the university. And we're at the moment planning for a new building. It's also already been approved. So you see on the left-hand side here a graphic of what it's going to look like. It's going to be based in the North Campus in Tralee. So it's a significant investment. It's going to start construction next year and going to be completed by the end of 2023. So it offers a great opportunity for us to expand the STEM offering, including the agri-tech offering to the region and beyond. Some of the programs of study you see here on the right-hand side cover the wide spectrum. So every student from school leavers to mature students, and every level of education from apprenticeship requirements and level 6, undergraduate level, up to level 8, and postgraduate level 9 and level 10 are covered with a wide array of program offerings. All can be seen on the mtu.ie website. Programs, I guess, are really the key thing is that they're practically focused and that they're very industry relevant and that they're very hands-on based. And we find that's good, gives a good flavor and a good impression of what industry needs from our students. Also, there's a lot of research going on, and I just want to point out, I guess, here the IMAR Research Centre. The IMAR Research Centre focuses a lot on research for industry partners, so especially in the area of intelligent mechatronics, also in RFID and Internet of Things. We have a number of active agri-tech projects at IMAR. One to mention, I guess, is called TAGME. It's about transforming agricultural manufacturing in Ireland. It's a collaboration between the research centres and between 3 industry partners. And there's a lot more to come in this space. In addition, there's the ACE Agritech Centre of Excellence. This is based in the MTU Kerry campus. And it's a virtual reality suite that offers a range of e-learning and virtual reality solutions via their state-of-the-art suite. There's a core focus on enhancing learning and development and improving a company's capabilities through the access to this kind of cutting-edge technology in ACE. An example of the use of these technologies is with the challenge of remote installation. So if we say we take a machine that's in a remote area, remote field, and we're looking to do maintenance on that piece of equipment, the use of augmented reality headsets provide the capability for remote technical assistance. So while the user in the field can use both their arms to work on the machine, they're able to get expert guidance through the headsets on what steps to take. So there's also a wide variety of hardware solutions available at ACE, and ACE are always looking for new industry partners. So to conclude, Ireland has a natural advantage in agricultural industry. The country has an abundant rainfall, as we're all familiar with, even though we've had a really good summer this year. We have a temperate climate and we have very productive soil, leading to high quality grass for livestock feeding. Beef and milk production are very important sectors, accounting for about 60% of our agricultural output. It's clear that agri-tech providers will play an important role in the future of farms. And the success of the sector will depend on the interaction between the 3 factors we talked about: the demand from the growing population, the pressure from the climate change side, and also, I suppose, the opportunities then offered by technology for agriculture. Technology can really make a positive impact, Irish farmers have always proven to be resilient, and we're well placed to take advantage of future opportunities here. The right, easy to use technology solutions are needed to really make a value added difference for farmers. This is the start of the Agritech Cluster journey. I'm working with a small number of SMEs at the moment and looking to expand the reach of the cluster. If you would like to find out more, please reach out using any of the social media channels here. All links are available on the website, agritechireland.ie. Special thanks to my partner, MOOCALL, and thank you for listening.